The afternoon sun hung low over the quiet suburban street. Cars hummed in the distance, birds scattered, and for a moment, everything seemed peaceful. Then came the laughter, cold, sharp, cruel. "Hey, look who's coming!" a boy's voice echoed. "It's the robot girl again." Sophia tightened her grip on the handles of her wheelchair. Her hands trembled slightly. The rubber wheels squeaked against the rough pavement as she tried to move faster, keeping her eyes down. She hated that nickname, Robot Girl. They called her that ever since she got the metal braces on her legs after the accident. 3 boys, Jake, Tyler, and Ben, stepped into her path. Jake kicked a soda can, letting it roll right under her wheels. "Where you rushin', huh?" he said, smirking. "You got somewhere important to roll to?" Sophia's voice shook. Please. Just let me go." Ben mimicked her trembling tone, laughing. Please, just let me go," he said mockingly. Tyler joined in, pulling out his phone to record. The laughter stung like knives. She wished her mom were there, or anyone, but the street was empty. Jake shoved her wheelchair handle, spinning it halfway around. "Oops," he grinned. "Careful on the turns, Speed Racer." Sophia's heart pounded. "Stop, please," she cried. Then the world tilted. Jake pushed harder this time. The chair rolled backward. One wheel caught the curb, and in a flash, Sophia tipped over. The sound of metal scraping the road was followed by a sharp gasp. Clang. Her books scattered. Her knees scraped the ground. Her palms burned. For a second, silence. Even the boys froze. Then Tyler laughed again. "Man, that was epic. I got that on video." Sophia's eyes filled with tears. The dust, the sting of asphalt, the smell of rubber, everything blurred. She whispered, "Why are you doing this?" Jake shrugged. "Because it's funny." But before he could say another word, a deep rumble filled the air. First it sounded like thunder, then louder, closer. Vroom. All 3 bullies turned around. From the far end of the street, 6 motorbikes appeared, their engines growling like wild beasts. Black leather jackets, chrome shining in the fading sun. The sound made the ground tremble slightly. Jake frowned. Who are they?" Sophia, still on the ground, blinked through her tears. The bikes slowed down, stopping just a few feet away. The leader, a tall man with a gray beard and tattoos across his arms, switched off his engine and removed his helmet. His piercing eyes scanned the scene. The silence that followed was deafening. He looked at Sophia, then at the boys, then back at her wheelchair, lying overturned on the pavement. He stepped off his bike, boots hitting the asphalt, thud, thud, thud. Finally, he spoke. His voice was low, calm, but carried a weight that froze the air. "What happened here?" No one answered. Jake stammered. "We were just..." The man cut him off, eyes narrowing. "Doesn't look like just anything to me." Behind him, the other bikers removed their helmets. Men and women, different ages, but all with the same look in their eyes. Protective, unforgiving. Sophia's breathing slowed. For the first time, she didn't feel alone. But the bikers weren't done yet. The leader knelt beside her, gently lifting the wheelchair back up. "You okay, sweetheart?" he asked softly. She nodded weakly. Thank you." He looked back at the bullies. "You boys got something to say before we talk?" The boys exchanged nervous glances. And then, a police siren wailed in the distance. The bikers turned their heads slightly, but their eyes never left the boys. Jake whispered, "We should go." The leader smiled faintly. "Go ahead. But remember, people like us, we don't forget faces." The sound of his words hung in the air like smoke. The boys ran, and as their footsteps faded, the leader looked at Sophia again and said, "Let's get you home, kid. You're safe now." Sophia nodded, her voice trembling. Who are you?" He smiled gently. "We're the road guardians." But who were these bikers really? And why did they appear at that exact moment? What happens when the bullies decide to get revenge? The rumble of the engines faded as the group of bikers escorted Sophia home. Evening had painted the sky with shades of orange and purple. Streetlights flickered on one by one, casting long shadows over the quiet neighborhood. Sophia sat quietly in her wheelchair, her heart still pounding from what had just happened. The tall, bearded man walked beside her, pushing the chair gently. His leather jacket read Road Guardians across the back, bold white letters on black. Sophia finally found her voice. Why did you help me?" she asked softly. The man looked down at her with a small smile. "Name's Michael," he said. "And helping kids like you, that's what we do." She frowned. "But you don't even know me." Michael nodded. "We don't need to. We help anyone who's being hurt. It's part of our oath." He stopped for a moment, staring at the sunset. The other bikers formed a loose circle around them, a quiet formation, protective but peaceful. Sophia glanced at them. One was a woman with braided hair and kind eyes. Another was a heavy-set man with a gentle smile. They didn't look like the kind of people you'd expect to save the day. And yet, they did. Michael continued, his voice low and steady. "Years ago, one of our brothers saw something like what happened today. A kid getting bullied, no one stepping in. He tried to help, but he was too late." He paused. The air grew heavy. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. "So we made a promise," Michael said. "No one gets left to face cruelty alone. Not while we're around." Sophia's eyes softened. "You mean, you look for people who need help?" "Exactly," said the woman with the braid. She crouched beside Sophia and smiled. "Name's Evelyn. I used to be a nurse before I joined the club. You'd be amazed how many people we find out there who just need someone to care." Sophia smiled shyly. "You're like heroes." Michael chuckled. "Not heroes, just people who remember what it's like to hurt." For a while they walked in silence. The only sounds were the crunch of gravel under boots and the distant bark of a dog. Sophia's house appeared at the end of the lane, a small white home with peeling paint and a porch light that flickered weakly. When they reached the gate, Evelyn knelt again and brushed the dust from Sophia's arm. "You okay to go inside?" Sophia nodded slowly. "I think so." "Your parents home?" Michael asked. Sophia's eyes dropped. "Mom's working the night shift. Dad's not around." Michael's jaw tightened slightly. "That's so." He looked at the house, then back at her. "You got anyone who checks in on you?" "Sometimes my neighbor, Mrs. Allen," Sophia said. "She brings food." Michael crouched down, eye level with her. His tone turned soft, but serious. "Listen to me, Sophia. What those boys did today, that wasn't your fault. You didn't deserve it. Understand?" Sophia bit her lip, tears welling up again. I just wish they'd stop." He nodded. "They will." Evelyn placed a comforting hand on Sophia's shoulder. "You're stronger than you think, sweetheart." For the first time that day, Sophia smiled. A small, shaky smile, but real. Then Michael pulled a small silver coin from his jacket pocket. The metal glinted under the porch light. On one side, an engraved eagle. On the other, the words, "Courage, loyalty, honor." He pressed it gently into Sophia's palm. "This is the Road Guardian's token. You keep it, and if you ever need us again." He nodded toward the street. "You'll know we're not far." Sophia looked at it in awe. "Thank you." Michael stood, giving her a soft pat on the shoulder. "Get some rest, kid." The engines roared to life one by one. Sophia watched from the porch as the bikers disappeared into the fading twilight, red taillights glowing like embers. But just before Michael turned the corner, he looked back, and she could swear he nodded at someone across the street. Someone hidden in the shadows. Sophia blinked. "Wait! Who was that?" she whispered. The figure stepped slightly into the light, just enough for her to see. A teenage boy holding a phone, recording, and then he ran. Sophia's stomach dropped. Who was that boy? Was he one of the bullies, or someone else entirely? And what will he do with that video? Morning came quietly, but for Sophia, sleep never really came at all. She kept replaying last night in her mind. The laughter, the shove, the roar of the bikes, and Michael's calm eyes as he handed her that silver token. Courage. loyalty, honor. The words echoed in her heart like a promise. But something else echoed too. That shadow in the street. That boy recording. By the time she rolled into school the next day, whispers followed her like the wind. There she is. Did you see the video? I heard bikers showed up. Her stomach twisted. Video? At her locker, her friend Emma rushed up, phone in hand. Sophia, you're online. What? Emma showed her screen. The title hit like a brick. Bikers save disabled girl from bullies. Caught on camera. The clip was already at 48,000 views. Sophia's breath caught. On screen you could see her crying on the pavement, the boys laughing, and then the thunder of motorcycles. Michael and the road guardians stepping off their bikes like angels in leather. The comments section exploded with emotion. That poor girl. Those bikers are legends. Find those bullies. Make them apologize. Sophia didn't know whether to cry or smile. Then she saw one more thing, the account that posted it. Tyler Vlogs. Her blood ran cold. Tyler. One of the bullies. Emma. She whispered. He's the one who recorded it. Emma frowned. Maybe he's trying to fix what he did? But Sophia could tell by the captions Tyler added. That wasn't the case. He wrote, "We were just having fun until some biker gang freaked out." Faced with tears of joy, the anger burned in her chest. They still thought it was funny. By lunch, everyone in school had seen it. Teachers, students, even the principal. Jake and Ben avoided her eyes in the hallway. Tyler just smirked whenever he saw her. Sophia kept her head down until her phone buzzed. Unknown number. You think you're famous now? Wait till everyone knows what really happened. Her hands trembled. Who was that? Tyler? Jake? She turned off her phone and tried to focus on class. But whispers kept circling. Some kids called her brave. Others said she exaggerated everything for attention. When she got home, the front door creaked open to a sound she hadn't heard in months. Her mother's voice. Sophia. Her mom, exhausted and still in her work uniform, looked confused. Honey, what's going on? My phone's been blowing up. Sophia hesitated, then handed her the phone. It's me. From yesterday. Her mom watched the video silently. Her face tightened as it played. When it ended, she looked at Sophia, tears in her eyes. Oh, sweetheart. Why didn't you tell me? Sophia's voice cracked. I didn't want to make it worse. Her mom pulled her into a hug, holding her like she hadn't in years. You didn't do anything wrong. Those boys did. Just then, a deep rumble came from outside. Sophia looked out the window. The road guardians had returned. Michael stood at the gate, arms crossed, eyes scanning the street. Evelyn waved gently from behind him. Sophia wheeled outside. Michael. He nodded. Heard you made the news. Sophia sighed. Yeah. But not in the way I wanted. Michael looked serious. That video's spreading fast. I've got friends saying reporters are already looking for you. Reporters. Evelyn nodded. It's not just a clip anymore, sweetheart. It's a story. People are angry. They want justice. Sophia's mom stepped forward. Are we safe? Those boys. Michael cut in calmly. We'll make sure of it. For a moment, no one spoke. The air was thick, part fear, part hope. Sophia clutched the silver token in her pocket. Michael, she asked softly, why does this feel bigger than me now? He looked at her and said, because sometimes one small act of cruelty exposes everything wrong around it. Then he turned toward his bike. Stay inside tonight. Things might get loud. Sophia blinked. What do you mean? Michael gave a faint smile. Let's just say, the guardians don't like bullies. The engines roared to life again, echoing down the block like thunder rolling through the night. Sophia watched until their lights vanished. But the moment they were gone, she noticed something. Across the street, a black SUV sat idling, headlights off. A camera lens glinted from the passenger window. She whispered to herself, that's not the news. Who's watching Sophia? And what are the road guardians planning to do next? The night arrived heavy and restless. Dark clouds rolled across the sky, swallowing the moonlight. The wind carried a strange stillness, the kind that comes before something happens. Sophia sat by her bedroom window, the silver road guardian's token glinting in her hand. Every few seconds, she thought she heard something distant. A low hum, a vibration under the earth. Then, vroom, a single motorcycle roared in the distance. Then another, and another. She leaned closer to the window. Headlights, dozens of them, cutting through the darkness like fireflies made of chrome. Her phone buzzed. A message from Michael. Stay inside. Doors locked. Curtains closed. Her heart pounded. Outside, engines grew louder, blending into one deep thunder that shook the streetlights. Across town, Jake, Tyler, and Ben were hanging out near the closed diner, the same place where they always met after dark. Tyler scrolled through his phone, grinning. Yo, our video just hit 500,000 views. Jake smirked. Told you, we're famous. Ben laughed nervously. Yeah, but people in the comments, they're mad, man. They said the cops are looking for us. Tyler rolled his eyes. Relax. They don't even know our last names. Then silence. A single engine revved nearby. Then another. Jake frowned. You hear that? Ben swallowed hard. Yeah. Sounds like. He didn't finish. Because that's when the road guardians appeared. From the shadows, one by one, their bikes rolled in. Headlights flaring, engines growling like thunder beasts. There were at least 15 of them surrounding the diner parking lot. Michael's bike stopped right in front of the boys. He turned off the engine. The silence that followed was deafening. Tyler forced a laugh. Oh great, the heroes again. You guys following us now? Michael removed his helmet slowly. His eyes were cold, unreadable. No, he said quietly. We came to finish something. Jake stepped back. What do you want? Michael's voice was calm but heavy with authority. To talk. Another biker, Evelyn, walked forward, holding up her phone. You think what you did was funny? She asked. You think pushing a disabled girl and filming her pain is entertainment? Tyler looked away. It was a joke. Michael's eyes hardened. You call that a joke? The bikers closed in slightly, not threatening but unyielding. Their leather jackets glinted under the flickering diner light. Michael continued, Do you even know what courage looks like, boys? It's not hiding behind a phone. It's standing up for someone who can't. Ben's voice broke. We didn't mean. We were just messing around. Michael pointed at him. Then why post the video? No one answered. For a long moment, the only sound was the ticking of an old streetlight above them. Then Michael sighed and looked up at the dark sky. My brother died because of bullies like you, he said quietly. He couldn't take it anymore. That's why this club exists, to make sure no one else feels that kind of pain again. The words hung heavy in the air. Even Tyler looked shaken now. Evelyn spoke softly. You boys have a choice. Keep running from what you did, or do something right for once. Jake swallowed. Like what? Michael looked him dead in the eye. Tomorrow, you go to Sophia's house. You look her in the eyes and apologize. Publicly. The same way you humiliated her. Tyler's jaw tensed. You can't make us. Before he could finish, one of the bikers revved his engine, the sound exploding in the air like thunder. Tyler flinched. Michael didn't blink. We don't make people. We give them chances. Don't waste yours. He turned his back, signaling the others. Engines roared again, echoing off the buildings, shaking the ground. But just as they were about to leave, Evelyn noticed something. A black SUV parked across the street, the same one from Sophia's neighborhood. She squinted. Michael, that car's been following us. Michael turned. His expression changed instantly. Everyone, helmets on. The SUV's engine started. Headlights flared. It sped toward them. Screech. The bikers scattered, engines roaring to life. The SUV barely missed Michael's front tire as it skidded past. From inside, a man shouted, Turn that camera off. Cameras, reporters, or something else. Michael gritted his teeth. "They're not reporters," Evelyn yelled. "Then who?" Before he could answer, the SUV swerved again, disappearing into the night. The bikers regrouped, engines still growling. Michael looked toward Sophia's neighborhood, eyes dark with concern. "Something's not right," he said. "This isn't just about bullies anymore." The others nodded. As the roar of their engines filled the night again, lightning cracked across the sky, and somewhere miles away, inside her quiet house, Sophia jolted awake, clutching the silver coin tight in her palm, feeling that something terrible was coming. Who was inside that SUV? And what are they really after, Sophia, the video, or the Guardians themselves? The storm came just before midnight. Rain lashed against windows. The sky cracked open with lightning that lit the whole town in flashes of white and blue. Inside her small room, Sophia sat awake, watching the rain streak down the glass. The silver token gleamed faintly in her hand. Every gust of wind made the house creak. Every thunderclap made her heart jump. She could feel it. Something was coming. Then headlights. Car stopped outside. She peeked through the curtain. Not the familiar roar of motorcycles, but that same black SUV. Her breath hitched. The door creaked open. A figure stepped out, umbrella in hand. A man, tall, suited, his face hidden under the hood of the umbrella. Sophia's mom came into the hallway, worried. "Sophia? Who's outside?" I don't know." Before either could move, there was a knock at the door. 3 sharp taps. Her mom opened it slightly. "Can I help you?" The man smiled politely. "Evening, ma'am. I'm with a media agency. We'd like to interview your daughter about the biker incident." Sophia's mom frowned. "It's midnight. Come back tomorrow." But something in his voice made Sophia's skin crawl. It was too smooth, too rehearsed. Then the growl of engines filled the street again. The road guardians. The man's smile faltered. Headlights burst through the rain as Michael, Evelyn, and the others rolled in, surrounding the SUV. Engines idling, chrome glistening under the rain. Michael dismounted, water dripping from his jacket. "Step away from the door," he said firmly. The man straightened. "This is private property." Michael's eyes narrowed. "So is a little girl's life, and you've been following her for 2 days. You want to explain that?" The man hesitated. Then his polite tone cracked. "You think you can intimidate me with your gang?" Michael's voice didn't rise. "Not a gang. A family." Lightning flashed again, illuminating faces tense with rain and resolve. Evelyn stepped closer, holding up her phone. "We traced your license plate. You're not with the media. You're with the company that sponsors Tyler's online content, aren't you?" The man's eyes darted. Sophia gasped. "What?" Michael turned to her. "That's right. The video, the viral moment? They monetized it, made money off your pain." Sophia's hands trembled. They used me?" The man sneered. "The internet doesn't care who gets hurt. It only cares about views." Michael stepped forward until the man had to back up against the SUV. "Then maybe it's time someone reminded the internet what decency looks like." The thunder cracked again. Inside, Sophia's mom clutched her daughter. The storm outside seemed to rage in rhythm with the fury inside Michael's voice. Evelyn pressed a few buttons on her phone and turned the screen toward the man. "We recorded this entire conversation. You just admitted it." The man's face went pale. Michael's tone softened, but it carried steel. "You can walk away now, and this footage will go to the police. Or you can keep trying to spin lies, and every major outlet will see the truth by morning." Rain poured harder, drumming on helmets and leather jackets. Finally, the man muttered something under his breath, got back into the SUV, and sped off. Tires splashing through puddles, vanishing into the storm. The bikers stood in silence, rain soaking their jackets. Sophia wheeled out onto the porch, her face lit by the flash of lightning. "Michael," she said softly, "why do you do this? Why help people like me?" He looked at her, the same calm, steady gaze as before. "Because once someone helped me," he said, "and I promised I'd never let that kindness stop with me." Evelyn smiled through the rain. You reminded us what that promise means, Sophia. Sophia looked down at the silver coin in her hand. Water dripped from her hair, her cheeks, her eyelashes. But this time she wasn't crying. I'm not afraid anymore, she said quietly. Michael smiled. Good, because courage isn't about never being scared. It's about standing tall anyway. The thunder rolled again. The road guardians started their engines one by one, the sound rising like a heartbeat under the storm. Sophia raised her hand and waved. Michael nodded back. As they rode off into the night, their taillights disappeared into the sheets of rain, red embers fading into darkness. Sophia whispered to herself, they weren't just bikers. They were angels with engines. Epilogue, the morning after. By morning, the truth spread across the internet. Not the fake story, but the real one. News headlines read, viral bullies exposed, biker club protects disabled teen. Tyler, Jake, and Ben publicly apologized. The company was fined for exploitation. And Sophia? She became a voice for kindness in her school and beyond. Sometimes, she'd hear motorcycles in the distance and smile, because she knew the road guardians were still out there, watching, protecting. Final reflection for viewers. Have you ever seen someone being treated unfairly and stayed silent? What if next time you became the person who stood up like the guardians did? Because maybe courage isn't about strength. It's about heart. Red heart.